So, of course, COVID-19 constrained our lives, not only academic, but also research and the normal lives too. I wish there wasn't such a pandemic and we would be meeting face-to-face, discussing our papers all together and sharing our ideas. But let's take it positively. And now we are in an online conference and we don't have any limits. So we save the cost of traveling, we save the cost of arranging accommodation, etc. So we save a lot of hassles. And, social sciences and especially economists is trying to study the methods of efficiency and productivity. So online conferences is a way of increasing productivity, actually. So we will take this opportunity to discuss our ideas in an online background, in an online environment, and so that we will continue our lives by ignoring the effects of pandemics. So as I said, Bandar Mangedi University is hosting the conference successfully for many years, and I would like to congratulate the organizers of the conference and of course the host institute, host university of Bandar Mangedi University. And I wish a very successful, very productive conference to all of you. Thank you very much.
So thank you for your wishes and contributions to our conference. Now we will continue with our Vice Rector, Professor Alparslan Serer. Sir, I may leave my word to you. Sayın Hocam buyurun.
Günaydın. Çok teşekkürler. Sayın Rektörüm, günaydın değerli katılımcılar. Ben de Bandırma'dan selam ve saygılarımızı iletiyorum. Sizlerle beraber olmaktan çok mutluyuz. Öncelikle Sayın Rektörümüz Profesör Doktor Süleyman Özdemir'in bir program nedeniyle aramızda olmadığını vurgulamak isterim Sayın Rektörüm. Çok selam ve saygıları iletmemi istedi.
Sağ olsun.
Şimdi üniversitemizin değerli ekibi uzun yıllardır güzel bir konferans zinciri götürüyor. Bu konferansımız da zamanlama açısından çok enteresan. Aralık ayındayız. Aralık ayından geriye doğru baktığımızda 2020 yılını değerlendirebileceğimiz bir veri grubu elimizde. Konferansımızda hem 2020 yılının genel yapısı, hem 2021'e baktığımızda nasıl bir dünya ile karşılaşacağımız ve inşallah bu pandemiden kurtulduğumuzda da döndüğümüz dünya eski dünya mı olacak, başka bir yapıda mı karşımıza çıkacak? Bunun tartışıldığı çok değerli bildiriler var. Yani 124 bildiri var. Bunların 69 ya da 70 tanesi yurt dışı bilim insanlarının bildirileri bu anlamda. Zengin bir toplantı olacağını, konferans olacağını düşünüyorum. Tabii zamanlamanın Aralık ayına denk gelmesi gerçekten bir envanter çıkarmak anlamında da hem konferansımız açısından hem de katılımcılar açısından çok ilginç olacaktır. Çok önemli bir sorun yaşıyoruz. Hepimiz biliyoruz bu sorunun niteliğini. Biraz önce toplantıya katılmadan önce baktım. 72 milyon vaka sayısı, 1 milyon 600 bini aşkın da vefat eden insan sayısı var. Çok büyük bir olay. Dolayısıyla bizim de uygulamalı ekonomi, sosyal bilimler alanından değişik ülkelerden bilim insanlarıyla beraber bu dönemi değerlendirme fırsatımızın olacağı bu konferansın oldukça yararlı olacağını düşünüyorum. Tabii Sayın Rektörüm şuna da hak verecektir. Öyle değişiklikler oluyor ki biz Mart 2020'den önce üniversitemizde bir takım böyle uzaktan öğretim programlarını falan yaşama geçirelim diye Sayın Hocam uğraşırken 23 Mart'ta %100 uzaktan eğitim veren bir kurum haline dönüştük. Yani böyle bir anda her şey değişti. Dolayısıyla buna adapte olmaya çalıştık. Biz mikro olarak böyle davranırken dünyadaki tüm birimler, tüm kurumlar bu çerçevede tabii Tarihte eşi benzeri görülmemiş mali teşvikler var, parasal genişlemeler var. Bunların sonuçları var. Bildirilerin genel yapısına baktığımızda bütün bunların tartışılacağını ben memnuniyetle görüyorum. Konferansımızın güzel geçmesini diliyorum. Sizlerle beraber olmaktan mutlu olduk. Ben Bandırma'dan selam ve sevgilerimi iletiyorum. Saygılar sunuyorum. Ufuk, teşekkür ederim.
Biz teşekkür ederiz hocam. Thank you, sir, for your fruitful starting. And we will start right effective immediately with one of the how can I say most distinguished keynote speaker, as I don't know how to pronounce, but as Turkish, the biggest defender of Mavi Vatan, or maybe Blue Homeland. Am I right, sir? I'm not sure the exact term. So Associate Professor Cihat Yaycı is with us today. Sir, I don't want to talk too much, and I will give you my word immediately. Thank you very much for attending us again.
Thank you very much for your invitation. It's a great honor for me to join this conference, international conference, and so I congratulate all the participants and also the organization, the people who paid many efforts to organize this extraordinary, awesome conference. Thank you very much again. So. First of all, I would like to talk about the actual developments, improvements, and the events around the world, and so I am going to focus on the seas issue, and the importance of sea, the importance of the sea economy, what we call as blue economy. So. This is very important nowadays. Seas are becoming more and more important for the human life, for the economy, for the social life, and also especially for the security of the nations and the states. So, before we delve into the specifics of the issues related to the Eastern Mediterranean, we must first ask ourselves. So I'm going to focus on especially on the Eastern Mediterranean issue because it is becoming more and more seriously important for whole nations around Europe, North Africa, and Middle East, and also Asia. So are the seas and the oceans still important today? In the age of airplanes, how much do we benefit and rely on the seas and oceans? What is the future forecast of this relationship between us and the seas? Well, maritime affairs can be evaluated on 4 different areas with respect to my mind. These areas are transport, energy, food, and ecology. Regarding the transport, over 80% of the world's capital cities are located near a coast, and approximately 75% of the world's population live in the areas close to coast. In this framework, railroad transportation is 3 times expensive. Road transport is 7 times expensive, and air transport is 72 times, almost 72 times expensive when compared to the maritime transport. As a result, 85% of the world's cargoes and approximately 97% of the world's petroleum and petroleum derivatives are being transported by the seas and oceans. Seas are also especially important for a peninsular country like Turkey. For more than 70% of the Turkish borders are surrounded by seas. Again, more than 50% of the Turkish population live in a city with a coastline. So it's very important. So it's a sea state. I'm in Turkey. As for energy, 30% of oil produced in the world and over 50% of the natural gas is extracted from the seas. According to International Energy Agency, the world's oil produced from the sea is 26 million barrels per day, while the natural gas retrieved from the seas is 3 trillion cubic meters per day. Yet the significance of the potential harbored by the seas and oceans doesn't end with merely transport or energy. With the expected increase in the world population, fish consumption is also estimated to increase. Average fish consumption per capita in the world is around 19 kilograms per year per person. It is 24 kilograms in the European Union, and for our country, let me say an interesting number, which is a peninsular country, and 70% of the borders are sea borders, and the amount is only 8 kilograms. So, I am just putting forward. Putting Turkey forward to compare with the get benefits from seas, to give a picture about how nations are getting benefits from seas. Once again, in the difference in this is statistics show how much more Turkey or a nation can benefit from its maritime resources. Frankly speaking, as a peninsular country, with as I said before, 70% of these borders made up seas, these numbers are disappointing. Lastly, the ecological impact of the world seas and oceans is undeniable. Around 70% of the world's oxygen is produced by marine plants and organisms. The immensely diverse ecosystem of the oceans contribute to safekeeping our world's ecological balance. With the ever so worsening global warming, climate change, there is also the topic of the melting of the polar glaciers. This situation leads to emergence of new potential trade routes in the Arctic, which may make the Arctic region a more preferable route to connect Europe to Pacific, Atlantic to Pacific, in a manner which completely bypass the traditional routes of today. The Arctic region is therefore becoming one of the most important areas of strategic competition between the countries. With that being said, recently, the world has been witnessing quite tense maritime disputes between countries. We could even exaggerate it to say that the contemporary wars, this century's wars of the world, mostly happen in a virtual, asymmetrical way on seas and oceans by reciprocal diplomatic moves of states. A strategic deterrence game, one might say. Today, I will give some examples from history to show why maritime security is so crucial and what it means for our country, Turkey. I will also touch upon probable maritime security risks of Turkey in its surrounding seas, such as Eastern Mediterranean. Maritime security has started to be quite popular concept in international relations since 2000, beginning of 2000. Not only with the increase of modern piracy in Somalia and human crimes on seas in some other parts of the world, but also with the discovery of new resources on the seas and oceans and underneath them. Today, maritime security is in the agenda of most of the states, as well as international actors. For instance, maritime security issue has been included in 2011 Alliance Maritime Strategy Objectives of NATO. Moreover, many states have founded their own national agencies specialized on maritime security against piracy and maritime crimes, such as human or drug trafficking. Some countries initiated other operations, such as maritime security operations of USA, which are claimed to be military operations that occur under circumstances other than wars. Yet, this is not a new occurrence. Maritime security has always been crucial for powers. As scholars like McMahon, or even the centuries before him, Barbaros Hayrettin Pasha, have stated, one who controls the seas controls the world. As a result, we witness many maritime events in recent history which have played great role in shaping the strategic and political landscape of the world. After World War II, energy and maritime history affairs have played a particularly important role in the alignment of regional and international relations in Eastern Mediterranean. Since the region lies all the axis of the movement, both north-south and east-west, it has been at the juncture of the land and maritime trade, energy transportation, and naturally great conflicts and crises. In this different crisis involving the superpowers in the Eastern Mediterranean, sometimes quite different alignments were created depending on the strategic concerns and interests of varying actors. For example, with respect to the energy and maritime security in the 1956 Suez crisis caused a radical realignment of alliances and resulted with a shift in a balance of power in the region. This turning point in a global history that resulted in the emergence of a new international order, enable the US to be the leader in the region, also in the world. The Suez crisis occurred when Egypt nationalized the Suez Canal and took strategic trade control from Britain. This became a surprise energy and maritime related crisis in which Britain and US wrongly interpreted aspects of the conflict. The British Empire, upon which the sun never to set, devolved its imperial hegemony and handed over its leadership in the Middle East to the US. In this power game, Turkey fulfilled her historical responsibility as a buffer state by preventing Soviet access to the Mediterranean and the Middle East. Similarly, in the 1973 Arab-Israeli War in the Eastern Mediterranean, the following oil crisis that took place. The global alliances and the global economy took shocking alterations once again. During this period, OPEC increased its power due to the accession of new members, and thus the world became increasingly dependent on the Middle Eastern oil. After the oil embargo of the OPEC by January 1974, world oil prices were 4 times higher than they were at the start of the crisis. Suffering from the crisis, European policy started to diverge from the US policy in the Middle East. The Arab countries' use of energy as a power, as a weapon also, resulted in the realignment of the alliances in the region. During this period, Turkey followed a more pro-Western but well-balanced foreign policy. Though a powerful US ally, Ankara supported Palestinians and Arabs in the War of 1967 and 1973. And Turkey announced that Incirlik base, which is an American air base located near Adana at the southern region of Turkey, couldn't be utilized by the US to supply Israel. Yet, it allowed the Soviets to overfly its air territory in order to supply Arabs. On the one hand, Turkey didn't want to face a shortage of oil. On the other hand, she wanted to maintain its Western relations. It is obvious that Turkey has been one of the few countries that has worked to maintain its relations with both the West and the Middle East. Cyprus Island, a strategic gate for the free access to the Mediterranean and the Middle East, has been at the center of this energy and maritime related crisis. Therefore, it has been a key link for the strategic alliances after the World War II. During the Cold War, energy security and the control of the trade was the main concern for the US, the Soviet Union, and other parties in the Eastern Mediterranean. And Cyprus dispute was at the center of this power game. The Soviet Union wanted to intervene in Cyprus to prevent the US-led NATO intervention in the dispute and to take advantage of this fissure in the southeastern front of NATO. Rather than being an intercommunal dispute, the Cyprus dispute has been one of the most influential and complicated issues shaping the strategic alignments in the Eastern Mediterranean among Turkey, Greece, the US, Britain, the Soviet Union, and strategic organizations such as NATO, United Nations, and currently European Union. The great power game of the Cold War changed after the fall of the Berlin Wall and set off in a new era in international relations that reinforced the world economic trends towards globalization. In this new order, Turkey's strategic role as a buffer state declined, unfortunately. However, after a short time, Turkey, as located in the junction of the energy resources, has now a much more critical role for the regional and global security with its stable position with respect to by considering many crises around her, neighboring the most risky and unstable regions of the world. Turkey is sitting and keeping its stable position. Turkey is viewed as an independent competitor in the global arena. Now, after whole crisis, whole developments, whole improvements in the region and in the world, Turkey became an independent competitor in the global arena and no longer an instrument for the Western policies. The Eastern Mediterranean, which today attracts international interest in hydrocarbon transportation, exploration, and production, is witnessing severe energy-related problems that challenge regional security and stability. Unless settled energy and maritime security-related problems will threaten Turkey's role as the most important and stable energy hub in the region, in particular, and could hinder global security and stability more generally. Either of these could result in a hostile realignment of alliances and militarization of energy, as it was seen in the many case studies, if settled. However, the region could become an area of peaceful alliance that will revive the Eastern Mediterranean's historic mission of being the cradle of civilization, partnership, and prosperity. In the settlement and the realignment process, Turkey, with its emerging role for contributing to the regional and global stability, will participate as a global player and international stakeholder. This is very important, what we see ourselves. Therefore, defined not merely by the geological realities, the bond between Turkey's strategic role and the global arena and the Eastern Mediterranean is therefore linked via a historical accumulation of experience. Historical and geographical realities are realigned as the Eastern Mediterranean is once again becoming one of the hottest, maybe the only hottest spots in the world. To establish a clear understanding as to how to proceed in this 21st century with the issues related to this region. We must first know what truly makes this region a center of attraction for many countries. Eastern Mediterranean generates an immense value in various ways, or be it militarily, commercially, or logistically, whatever you want. First of all, many of the Eastern Mediterranean countries, such as Syria, Lebanon, Israel, and Egypt, have a coast to the sea. Thus, the Eastern Mediterranean alone encompasses a territorial region which generates more than half of the world's petroleum. Logistically and inevitably, militarily speaking, where Eastern Mediterranean reaches Mesopotamia and the Near East, where the Suez Channel, and it reaches to the Arabian Peninsula and the Gulf of Basra. In fact, one can say that it also holds the shortest route for Africa and Europe to have access to the Indian Ocean. Thus, the Eastern Mediterranean plays an important role for strategic ability to maneuver in the Asia Pacific too. Furthermore, within itself, Eastern Mediterranean contains a very strategic area like the island of Cyprus, which is viewed much like a natural aircraft carrier due to its strategic location near the Middle East and North Africa. Currently, aside from Turkey, Britain also has 2 military bases on the island. Additionally, in 2007, in a manner which violates, it is very important, I would like to impress this issue. Zurich and London treaties, France signed a military cooperation agreement with the Greek Cypriot administration of Southern Cyprus, which involves the utilization of the Andreas Papandreou Air Base. Again, in 2019, in the same manner which violates the Zurich and London treaties, France started again to use the Evangelos Florakis Navy base. Such escalatory actions indicate the military and logistical importance of this region. Is still accelerating in a considerable manner. Commercially speaking, more than 200,000 ships cruise in the Mediterranean each year. And while the Mediterranean consists of no more than 1% of the world's seas, oceans regarding its size, a third of world's maritime traffic occur in the sea alone. It is very important. 1%, the amount of sea, but the trade is one third of whole trade, maritime traffic in the world. The daily amount of ships which pass through the Gibraltar into the Mediterranean is 300. For Suez Canal, which binds Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean via Red Sea, this number is 50. And the Turkish Straits, Istanbul and Çanakkale Straits, which binds the Black Sea and the Mediterranean daily, is around 120. With all this in mind, Eastern Mediterranean offers an opportunity to benefit and to influence, if not control, the entire maritime commerce that occurs over the Gibraltar, Suez, and Black Sea regions. In 2010, U.S. Geological Survey, I would like to talk about some, energy resources and hydrocarbon reserves in the region. In 2010, U.S. Geological Survey found 122 billion cubic feet gas and 1.7 billion barrels of petroleum in the maritime area are located in Levant region and shared between island of Cyprus, Lebanon, Israel, Syria, and Turkey. As for the Nile Delta, the U.S. survey found an equally staggering 1.8 billion barrels of petrol and 223 billion cubic feet of gas and 6.3 billion barrel worth LNG. Similar findings also exist south and southeast of Crete and in the surrounding regions of islands of Cyprus, in front of Turkish continent, and so forth. Further findings, including the south and southern regions of Crete and in front of Turkish continent, over the Turkish continental shelf, there is around 3.5 trillion meter cube of gas. It was, if we take the 2010 values as our reference for consumption of natural gas, indeed, in the eastern reservoirs, as we currently estimate them to be, make up almost 572 years worth of natural gas need of Turkey, or 30 years worth of natural gas need of Europe. So, I talk about the, a little bit about the world maritime security, blue economy, and the importance of the seas. And also, I touched upon the shortly the seas around Turkey and the issues about Middle East and issues about the Eastern Mediterranean. And so we are going to make an special session for this, the importance of the seas, the maritime security issues, and what is happening, what is going on Eastern Mediterranean, and what are the complex issues, and what are the reasons, what we are going to expect, what will be happen. So all those issues are being talked and discussed in our special session. So we are waiting all of the people who are listening, who are attending this conference, to listen us on this special session. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Dear Professor, thank you very much for your informative speech, and thank you. I would like to also in person thank you for putting attention on this matter in terms of Turkey. Thank you very much. I can guarantee you, there are some researchers in our conference, in our chat room right now. I can guarantee you they shed lights on their minds to put some relationship between energy economics and the Mediterranean. Till now, probably they will get deep on this matter. Thank you very much for your presentation. And also, I mentioned Associate Professor Cihat Cihaycı's session on a chat site, which will start at 1 p.m. right afternoon today. You may join over there like you joined on this session. Thank you very much, sir, for your presentation again.
Thank you very much.
Right now, we have a very special guest from China, Professor Candy Lim Chiu, from College of Business and Public Management. I would like to actually give brief information about her. Professor is a faculty member of College of Business and Public Management at Wanzhou Qin University in China. She received her PhD from Kyoto University, and now she holds a specific, let me check it, some works on Journal of Services and Operation Management, Journal of Commerce and Management, and some other top tier journals. Ma'am, now I would like to leave my word to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Candy. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really honored and grateful. At the same time, my department is also honored and grateful to give the opportunity to my students to participate in your reputable conference. So I will start the session. I just have a question, Doctor. How can I share my PPT because I cannot click the presentation?
Yeah, you may share your presentation. Let me open a permission for that, ma'am. Just a couple.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
I just.
Okay, great.
You may share it on. You know how to share your screen?
Oh yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
I hope everyone can see my screen clearly.
Yes, it is clear. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So let me start the topic. The topic is all about marketing in the new normal. A lot of companies right now, they are concerned about what are the marketing strategies that they're going to do during the COVID, because until now we still have the pandemic in every country, and we still have more companies still looking for marketing strategies. How are they going to continue promoting their services, especially with the change of consumer behavior right now? So I will start first with the situation that we have. I think all of the countries in this world suffered during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it changed the lives of each consumers as well as businesses. If you're going to see right now, most of the consumers and businesses, they are concerned more about the situation of the pandemic. Who are the people got affected? What are we going to do? The social distancing, the lockdown, and the change of income, the change of livelihood. So a lot of things that as a business or even us as an academic researcher, we need to consider what are the things that is much more valuable for us to look for, especially in terms of business and marketing and management. Okay, then if you're going to see right now, most of the consumer right now, they are much more expressive regarding their emotional feelings. They are willing to donate. They are willing to share their experience through social media. They are much more concerned, conscious about the situation that we have. Just like recently, last summer, I did some freelance consulting in UAE, Abu Dhabi. Some of the businesses there, they are small businesses, they found out that majority of the consumer right now in UAE, they are much more concerned of self-development product that will self-develop them, because most of them, I think they were locked down for how many months, okay? So most of the people there, they are looking for ways how to self-develop their, for example, their skills. How are they going to be competitive, especially right now? To give you a background of the UAE in Abu Dhabi, if you're going to see the population of UAE local are very small, and a lot of foreigners are coming to UAE to work. So right now, those local people, they want to improve themselves when it comes in terms to skills. How are they going to be much more competitive? How are they going to produce more services, because they cannot rely everything on oil industry. So these are the, if you're going to see right now, even consumer and the way these entrepreneurs think, or businesses, how are they going to produce the product, is totally different from last year and the other years. And based on my research, that the data that we are gathering right now, as a consultant in marketing, agency, management consultant, 6 months data are going to be outdated anymore, because there's a lot of changes what is happening right now. And if you're going to see right now, there's a new change again, because some of the countries, they already have the vaccine. So every month there's a new things happening, there's a new ways of doing things. So as a business, they need to be much more alert. Okay, how are they going to continue serving the market, and how will this market will continue to be loyal with their product? Okay, so marketing right now become much more important compared before, because if you're going to see, some of the people, they lost their job, some of the people, they don't have that business, restaurants and other form of services. The same thing, for example, in our university, we are hybrid right now. Some of them, we are doing online classes, and some of them are doing face-to-face. So how are you going to encourage also those customers, just like the students, Chinese students, to enroll in your classes? Okay, because if you're going to see the mindset of Asian, they are much more into face-to-face than into online classes. But in other countries, just like US and UK, they are usually have their own online classes. So there's a lot of things that you need to consider. How are you going to sell your products or services to your consumer? So right now, we also need to think about the strategy that we're going to do. For example, let's just say homebound customer. Still a lot of consumer right now, if you're going to see, they stay at home. Some of them, to tell you honestly, they lost their job, and so they are staying at home. They are finding ways how to make money. And at the same time, if you're going to see regarding social distancing is very, very important right now, especially for service, entertainment, even, for example, concert. If you're going to see a lot of concert right now, how do they market their product? They are doing online concert, live streaming and everything, and they are still selling those tickets. And if you're going to see right now, some of the department store also who are providing face-to-face, okay, retail services to consumer, everyone right now, they are requiring, the companies are requiring them to do online selling or e-commerce. So you really need, as a business, to think about how are you going to have social distancing, okay? Still continue that the consumer, they will keep buying your product. And at the same time, unpredictable environment, okay? If you're going to see right now, it's winter time, so you're going to receive, for example, in our country, in China and other places, or in Korea, in other places in Asia, we're still receiving that we need to be careful during this winter break, because a lot of activities, and it's winter, maybe this winter cannot kill the virus and everything. So as a businesses, you need to find ways, how are you going to provide those services in an unpredictable environment, just as right now. If you're going to see China right now, in China, most of the people right now are much more open. They can go out without wearing masks, they can go to concert, they can do a lot of activities. I think because they were able to fix the problem as soon as possible, okay? So right now, even businesses right now in China, they are doing different kinds of marketing. How are they going to promote their product and services, okay? So what are the current situation right now? Most of the businesses, they go digital. I think all of you, you know that one is too obvious. Delivery, e-commerce, everything right now, everything goes digital. For example, shopping for fresh food, wet market, okay, instead of going to wet market, because even in China, they are already open. There are some wet market that you still need to have the mobile code in order for you to come in. And sometimes they still need to check your temperature and other things. And if you're going to see right now, most of the, I give you example. In China, we have Alibaba. I think all of you, you know what is Alibaba. It's an e-commerce, one of the biggest e-commerce, who is the biggest competitor of Amazon.com. So if you're going to see right now, they always have an event single day, okay? November 11, and they're going to sell everything on sale, all the products in Alibaba. They have it here, the name of the website is Taobao in China, and other country Alibaba or AliExpress. So if you're going to see, most of the time they did the single day, it's like a Black Friday of in the US. They always do this one every November 11. But right now, because of the pandemic, they understand that the consumer right now, they don't have enough income, okay, to spend, or their purchasing power go decrease. So what happened? The strategy of Alibaba digital shopping, they started everything on November 1st until November 11. And right now, today, they still have the December 12th discount period for e-commerce or something. You buy something, you get discount. You buy more, you get more discount. So these are the strategy that most of the companies right now, they are doing when it comes to e-commerce. They are not just selling their product, but the discount is always continuous offer. For example, if you're going to buy more than 300 yuan, okay, or let's just say more than $50, you can get a rebate. So these are the strategy of the e-commerce right now. Not only e-commerce per se, but also the retail shops, just like H&M, Zara, Uniqlo, Nike, all these shops, they are trying to provide discount rate in order for people to keep buying their product. The second one is what? E-services for all occasion. If you're going to see right now, some of the e-services that most of the consumers are spending as, for example, online classes, just like Coursera, and edX and other. Majority of the young people right now, they find that they need to be much more competitive when applying for job. Because if you're going to see some of the graduate school right now, even you have a master in a well-known university, it's still hard to get a job. So right now, this kind of online classes, services, another thing is, for example, just like Nike, they have services for premium. They provide subscription to give you video, how to exercise, training, workshop, anything related to sports. And right now, even Nike, they are giving free subscription during the pandemic in order to show that we are giving you services. And at the same time, services just like airline, some of the airline, because before I came back to Guangzhou, my flight got canceled 3 times, okay? Some of the airline, they become much more active in social media. So if you ask them anything in Facebook, they easily respond back. And some of the airline, they try to open chat room, so you can discuss with them if the flight is delayed, what will happen if the flight is delayed, can I change the flight, or can I refund the money, when will I refund the money. So this kind of services also encourage customer to be much more loyal, that there is much more contact, okay, and it shows that you care about the consumer. Localizing experience of community. This one, community, is like a grouping of people, okay? Clubs, reading clubs, or for example, again, just like Nike, they have clubs for people who like sports, different kinds of sports. So this is what you call community. I think some of you know what is online gaming. Some of the online gaming company, they also create some community in order for people to get connected with those people who are also playing the same games. And it's like a club that they have some competition, they have some events that based on the community of those people who have the same interests, okay? Creating space for health and affordability. If you're going to see right now, most of the company right now, they concern about health of the consumers and affordability of their product. And you can see that majority of them, they are giving you discounts or giving you advice, what are you going to do Just like, for example, some of the soap companies right now, they are telling you how are you going to wash your hand, how are you going to protect your children from the virus and everything. So a lot of things that the company should consider as long as they are going to be active, whatever type of media that they're going to use. Another thing is what? Number 5 is higher standards. Companies should continue providing higher standards, okay? Because right now, especially when income is not that the same as before, some of the company, they try to reduce the salary. I have some friends that they lost their job. It's not the same anymore, and they have family, so they need to have to divide their income and regarding their children and other things. So they are much more conscious about buying what kind of product that they're going to buy. And they are much more concerned about durability, long lasting, okay, high quality, because they believe that I can use that for a long time because my limitation regarding my income. And the last one is home. Most of the activities right now are done at home, and especially a lot of people right now, they find out for example, some of my students, when they are doing online, a lot of my students, they still care about I want to face-to-face class. But some of the students, they think that online classes is good. So the point is, as a company, they need to find ways, just like online games, online streaming, just like I think all of you know TikTok, social media. So they like to share their experience online. So I think advertiser companies and everything, they need to be active more. How are they going to provide those services regarding activities at home? At the same thing, I think some of you know that the movie Wonder Woman, they are not going to show anymore in cinema. They are going to just show it online this coming December. So even Walt Disney, they are looking for Walt Disney's and those movie companies, they are looking for ways how they're going to provide those kind of movies because of limitation of social distancing in cinema. All the activities right now that we are having is everything at home. So right now, if you're going to see consumer, they have new habits. They trying to test new products. They are trying to test new brands. So companies right now, they need to be much more impactful and do some meaningful marketing in order for the consumer to know that they care and we are always there for you, even in times of calamities that we are facing right now. So some of the social issues of the consumer that they care about right now, that most of the companies that they need to do some marketing strategy. Example, climate change. I think all of you, know that climate change is very important. LGBT, gender diversity, racial injustice, equality, hunger, healthcare, obesity, bullying, and women empowerment. So a lot of this kind of social issue, if you're going to see Pepsi, Coca-Cola, big companies, they care more about this social issue. The reason why most of the company, they need to care about this social issue because of the presence of the social media right now. And the consumer that we have is not the same consumer that we had before, okay? Right now, you can share whatever you think in social media, and if you think this company is not caring about the social issue, they can talk about this company in social media and they can share to everyone, okay? So brands are getting more conscious about consumer interest when it comes to what is my target audience right now, who are the most influencer market, who can influence the other market in order to buy my product. At the same time, I think all of you, corporate social responsibilities is very, very important. So right now, what is the strategy of most of the company right now during, and maybe it will continue until after the coronavirus? Most of the company right now, they do social consciousness marketing. Social consciousness marketing, you can call it responsible marketing, cost marketing, green marketing, social good marketing, or quality life marketing. So these are the common terms for socially conscious marketing. And based on the study of American Marketing Association, they find out that majority of the people, they are much more loyal with the brand recently during the pandemic if this brand care about them, okay? Brands that are not afraid to stand up for what they think about it, okay? So example of those brands, I think some of you know Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, they are giving some donation. So they did this 1.25 million donation for emergency funding for family who are in crisis during coronavirus. And they are also giving donation to healthcare workers during this time. So these are the strategy of companies right now. So if you're going to see most of the advertising, most of the marketing strategy of companies right now, it's much more on social consciousness and corporate social responsibility. And also to give you more example about social responsibility, for example, Mercedes-Benz USA, they donated meals, 7,000 meals to Atlanta organization and other. Just to give you based on my experience when I was working Mercedes-Benz USA before in 2008 and 2009, Mercedes-Benz USA, one of their major consumer are the Americans. The strategy in America is what? In order for Americans to be loyal, they like activities and they like volunteer. So right now, when I was there, one of the department of marketing, they created Mercedes-Benz Gives Back. So what is Mercedes-Benz Gives Back? Which means Mercedes-Benz employee, they are all helping community, for example, building houses during calamity. Because in the US, they always have tornado, hurricane, and other things. So a lot of houses got blow up by the tornado and other things. So we, as an employee of Mercedes-Benz, we volunteer. They have association called Habitat for Humanity. So we build houses for those people who got affected by calamities. So what happened right now? Based on our marketing agency, okay, JD Powers. JD Powers is one of the consumer marketing agency in regarding automotive industry. They found out that when Mercedes-Benz tried to do more corporate responsibilities, this more consumers are buying Mercedes-Benz cars. And more of the consumers right now, they are becoming loyal with Mercedes-Benz cars. And they found out that some of the consumer, that most of the consumer, they don't have only one Mercedes-Benz car. At least some of the consumer, they have two. One is the most expensive brand. Let's just say one of the famous brand in the US is the E-Class. And we found out also that some of the consumer, they also buy the lower brand. So this is the thing that what? Corporate social responsibility, sometimes the company, they use it as a form of publicity, marketing in order to get more consumer. But at the same time, the consumer like it because the consumer thinks that you as a company, you care about us, you care about our community, you care about our country. So this is some of the strategy that Mercedes-Benz has been doing since 2008. But right now, most of the consumer, they are much more concerned about what do this big company are doing, just like Alibaba itself. Alibaba, if you're going to see during the pandemic, if you're going to read the news, Alibaba is most of the time in the news. What is the reason? Because Alibaba is donating a lot of PPE, okay, all over the world. So this is a form of also publicity. So if I am a consumer, where should I buy? Should I buy Alibaba or should I buy Amazon? If I found out that, especially in Asia, emerging countries, Alibaba is donating a lot of things in different emerging countries. And if you're going to see emerging countries, the majority of emerging countries, their e-commerce website are Alibaba. We have Lazada and other, and these are owned by Alibaba. So right now, consumers are much more going into Alibaba because they think Alibaba is donating. If Alibaba earns something, he donates those to other countries who are in need. So this is also a form of cost marketing. Just like I mentioned to you, Nike, they give free subscription. Starbucks also donating some of their products that were not able to finish at the end of the day. For example, sandwiches, salads, and other. This kind of products, they try to donate instead of throwing. So in order to gain more corporate responsibility and publicity, I think you also know about Sapos. Sapos is one of the company of Amazon.com. They tie up with Crocs shoes, okay? And they try to give free Crocs or deliver Crocs shoes to healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, and other things. And the same thing with Uniqlo, a Japanese company. They keep donating masks, and they already donated 500,000 masks in hospitals and other places. So what is the realization right now of a marketing? When you did something, you donate something, or you did something good for the community, or you help other people, you as a company, what are you going to do? You do a publicity, you talk about what you did, what you donate and everything, and people will feel much more happy, okay? Another thing, example, Dove. Dove, they talk about, they have a big advertisement that most of the people they are talking about when Dove released this one. They talk about donating care products to healthcare workers. They show those healthcare workers how they were affected and how they are working so hard in order to help a lot of people who are infected by COVID-19. So a lot of people right now, they think Dove, oh my goodness, Dove is amazing. Dove care about the healthcare workers. I think I need to donate more. I need to buy Dove, like this one. So there's effect, okay? And as a company, if you do this kind of cost effective, you can easily see the effect from the consumer. The consumer right now, they try to share, for example, Dove fight against COVID-19. They try to share in social media, and everybody's talking about in social media. It becomes trend. In TikTok, it becomes trend. In Instagram, it becomes trend. In other form of social media. So right now, we are talking about the trend. So who are these people who are sharing those information to others? So you have the boomers, millennials, and Gen Z. Majority of the study, okay, academic study or research, if you're going to do a study right now, majority of the study, they talk about of millennials, Generation X, because they always believe that millennials and Generation X, they have the money, okay? They have the money to buy the product. But because of this pandemic, if you're going to see Generation Z, okay, or the millennials, okay, or the centennials, these are the people who influence the family to use social media, who influence the family, who teach their mother, who teach their uncle, who teach their grandfather how to use TikTok, how to use social media, how to use laptop, how to watch video, how to watch YouTube and other things. So if you're going to see right now, as marketing or as a brand, you need to consider about the centennials because they are the digital, okay, type of consumer, okay? And digital marketing is the cheapest marketing right now. If you're going to compare with television, I think all of you, you know that digital marketing is much cheaper, okay, compared with television, radio, billboards, posters, and other things. So companies right now, if companies, they want to save more, they need to know who are their target market. Just like based on the study of Nielsen in 2018, 85% of the millennials and 80% of Generation Z or centennials, they rank if the company care about the environment, because climate change is one of the social issues that most of the young people right now or the people are concerned about. If the company are engaging how to protect the environment, we are willing to support that company and we are willing to buy their products. This is based on Nielsen in 2018. So right now, who are these centennials? These centennials are 18 to 24 years old. They are people under 25. Just like if you're going to read academic paper, most of the academic paper, they talk about centennials, they don't have money, okay? That's why majority of the focus is millennials and other. But if you're going to see, they are much more digital right now, okay? And if you're going to see, just like majority of my students right now, they are playing online games. So if you are the company, just like Pepsi or other things, Red Bull, I think you need to do more advertisements in online gaming in order to encourage for this younger generation to continue supporting your product. Okay, so centennials, they are not too small. Okay, we need to give much more importance as a company, because majority of the company, they care about Gen Y, Generation X, Generation Y. They care about the millennials and other things. And at the same time, we need to consider also the centennials right now. They care about social consciousness and politics as well. So what is the job for any companies or researcher or advertising agency? We need to care about much more about the future, okay? Who are this target audience who's going to influence more in the media channel, just like the social media, okay? Just like I give another example, you talk about TikTok. TikTok considered to be one of the biggest social media during the pandemic. Why? Because they were able to capture the younger audience, okay? And this younger audience, they are so active with TikTok, okay? So for brands, what are the things that they need to do? Number one, educate the consumer regarding the concern, what's happening right now during pandemic. They need to keep supporting fun programs regarding the issue. Donation, they can also create fun organization for themselves as a company. They can run campaigns just like Dove and the other Dunkin' Donuts to raise awareness about what's happening right now. Especially, they need to use more and they need to be active in using social media in order to engage a lot of consumer, because just like I mentioned to you, majority of the consumer right now, they find out that what they have more time and they spend more time using their mobile phone, their laptop, instead of watching the televisions or doing outside entertainment or activities or outdoor activities. So right now, even businesses, they need to keep supporting what are the issues that most of the people right now are concerned for. So we need to leverage the consumer engagement. Engagement, which means consumer, they need to share the advertisement that you're going to have, not only buying your product, they also need to recommend your product or services to other. At the same time, they need to like or to post also, okay? They need to make comment, okay? And they need to, every promotion that they're going to have, if you know how to engage them, okay? Whatever posting or advertisement they're going to share, and they're going to recommend your product to others, okay? Another thing is what? Offer more discount promotion, and you need to be active in e-commerce or online business retailing. So for advertisement, just like I mentioned, you need to talk about the truth right now, because people are not that stupid anymore. Everybody, they are in front of their mobile phones, getting news from social media or whatever types of media. Companies, you need to care about corporate social responsibility, and you should, if you have a message as a company, you need to avoid cynicism, which means what? What you say, you should also, the same thing, it's equivalent to what you do. It should not be different, okay? So thank you very much. I think most of the company right now, they need to embrace innovations and the new generation market, because this new generation, they are the one who's going to teach the old generation how to use more social media devices. Okay, thank you very much
Thank
to
you.
everyone. And thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I would like to thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us again. That was a really nice presentation in terms of COVID-19 pandemic. We have learned a lot about the new types of marketing and after pandemic and how marketing will be affected by this pandemic. This is very nice presentation. Thank you very much. I just want to say, I really appreciate what professor and her students done. They really contribute our conference with a very large portion of presentation and proceeding. Thank you very much for that again. And also, we will our collaboration and partnership in academic research, I hope, will continue for the future, and we will work with on our book projects and other conferences. Hope to see you and your students again on our conferences and on our academic researches again. Thank you, ma'am, for your.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Now, actually, we have a little time. Before I leave my word to Professor Hale Kırar, I just want to add, if you have any questions or contributions, both to Professor Kendi or Professor Cihati Aycı, I may take it on a chat site, or you may open your microphone and you may ask your question. If not, I will leave my word to Professor Hale. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Actually, it's Hale Kırar Silva from Bandar Monyede University. Now, actually, it is my turn to thank you all for your participation. And special thanks to our distinguished keynote speakers for their really valuable contributions. We really try to choose only qualified studies in this conference. And in this context, actually, we have papers from almost 12 different countries. And we arrange the sessions according to the subjects. We have a lot of econometric, management, business, applied economics papers. So we try to arrange the sessions accordingly. And we hope that there will be a lot of actually effective interactions and cooperations among the participants. And in the end, we really wish all these qualified studies will come together in the proceedings book. We will arrange the proceedings book afterwards. You can find the final program and the links to participate the sessions on our webpage. And please don't hesitate to contact with us for any information you need. I wish you all very successful and productive conference, and see you in the sessions. So.
Thank you, Professor. I just want to add one more thing. This opening ceremony and keynote session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, which I will add to chat site. And also, we will put a link on our webpage for this related opening ceremony and keynote sessions. And one more thing, the Professor Anıl Beraz session will be on 5 p.m. today with Turkish local time. And his session link will be provided on our conference program through to our webpage. You may access over there. Thank you very much for your attending to our conference, and we will start at, I guess, let me check it out, at 1:30. Yeah, 1:30. Thank you very much for attending us. I wish you have a very pleasant conference. Thank you very much, ma'am and sir. Thank you. Now I'm closing this session. You may leave with yourself. Thank you very much. Sorry. I guess I think we have a question. Sorry, ma'am. Okay. Special thanks. The Associate Professor Fatih Ayhan is thanking to all participants and our keynotes. Thank you very much again. Right now, I'm closing the session. Thank you very much for attending us. Now I'm turning off the recording. Thank you, sir.